G'day you good motherfuckers, the Buttsman here, and here is a story that will take you on a journey. A journey that takes arguably one of the greatest writers of all time and puts them up against an evil foe who is a man who sits in his bedroom and complains for a living. And yes, I understand the irony, I also do a lot of complaining, but I'm not in my bedroom, so go me. But the bedroom that this man sits in is a bedroom that I can only imagine smells like Subway 6-inch meatball subs, Cheetos, and a glorious stench of jizz. Anyway, it's a long story. It's Voosh versus J.K. Rowling, and I don't want to take up too much of your time, so here are the cliff notes. J.K. Rowling, the creator of Harry Potter, a beloved writer, a breaker of glass ceilings. She's made billions, she's a success story, and she dared comment on transgender women. So now everyone fucking hates her. And in the other corner, in this epic battle, is fucking this dude. Voosh is a bread tuber. Now obviously I had to Google bread tuber. What the fuck is a bread tuber? It means a left tuber, a group of online content creators who create video content, often video essays and live streams from socialists, communists, anarchists, and other left-wing perspectives. Wow, that sounds like a great time. This cocksucker said that Australianism is a disease. And to that, I made a video and said, fuck you to the moon. But that's not even 10% as bad as the other fucked up shit that he has said to his medium-sized audience.
Every single motherfucking black woman in America talks the exact same way.
Simulated child lolly stuff.
I think it's pretty sussy. I think that if you have an interest in that sort of stuff, you should definitely be checking yourself as to why.
We've all jerked at the lolly at some point or another. We've all...
Well, you don't have a penis.
We have all...
Should consuming child be legal? I think that would be, yes, more legal and more ethically consistent, yes.
These are some pretty damning allegations, Voosh. What is your response? Voosh is a fuckwit, of that there is no doubt. He is probably the king of the fuckwits. His Twitter fans suck him off religiously online. And we know Twitter's just a haven for the most fucked up, just fucking weird of all time. And yes, Voosh and I don't like each other. We've had our back and forths in the past, and Voosh, you little motherfucker, if I see you in public, I'm gonna flick you on the nuts. That's the sort of relationship we have. Now, some of those statements that I showed you before may or may not have been taken out of context. Now, some of them might have been, others not so much. I have done a video on that before, so I urge you to go and check that out. But you know what's quite funny is Voosh is mad about these things being taken out of context, when that's what he does for a living. He takes so many people out of context on a daily basis on his live streams. Take, for example, the great Count Dankula. He had an argument with Voosh, he had a debate with Voosh, and Voosh said during that debate that he was a white supremacist because of two jokes that he said on Twitter. And he said basically, and then I'm paraphrasing here because I don't have it in front of me, that Count Dankula making a joke on Twitter that may or may not have a racist tone to it or whatever it happened to be in that situation was just Count Dankula putting the feelers out to see if people accepted him as a white supremacist. So yeah, it's hard for me to feel sorry for a dude who takes people out of context for a living. That's my point. But this little fucker went after one of the world's most famous women on International Women's Day, a beautiful day in the calendar that I mark down every year to pray to the female Jesus, to play with my underarm hair for all the tough feminists out there, and to be a big fat fuck for all the brave fatties out there as well. International Women's Day, what a beautiful time of year it is. And Voosh decided to attack J.K. Rowling on this very day. J.K. Rowling and YouTuber Voosh spar over International Women's Day tweak. On Tuesday, Rowling shared a tweet that some users found transphobic. That day, the UK's left-wing Labour Party's Equality Shadow Minister, holy fucking dooly, Annalise Dodds, said on the BBC's Women's Hour good time to have a nap, reading a program that there were different definitions about what makes a woman. Dodds was speaking in discussion about Scotland's gender recognition reform bill, which would make it easier for transgender people to change their legal gender, which, you know, cool, good on them, wonderful. Rowling tweeted this in response. Someone please send the Shadow Minister for Equalities a dictionary and a backbone. Hashtag Happy International Women's Day. Now, this is something that Rowling does quite a bit. She is really pro-woman, and people call her a TERF because of that, which means a trans-exclusionary radical feminist. In response, popular left-wing YouTube personality Ian Voosh Kochelinski, all J.K. Rowling had to do was shut the fuck up, and she would have been most uncritically beloved for like a century. Voosh also said, women, be quieter and start apologizing challenge. Now that first line, he isn't wrong. Yeah, sure, she would have been unequivocally one of the greatest female writers of all time, or one of the greatest writers of all time. But that would mean she wouldn't speak what she believes. She wouldn't speak the truth that she sees as the truth. And what's the point of having a voice if you don't use it? There are so many mainstream celebrities in Hollywood, on TV, all that type of stuff, that will never voice their opinions because they're terrified. J.K. Rowling, whether you agree or disagree with her, she has the balls, the fanny flaps to go out there and talk about what she genuinely believes. And you have to respect that, whether you believe it or not, whether you agree with her or not. If she goes out there and talks about what she genuinely believes, that's some good shit. We need some more honesty in the world. But that last bit, Voosh, what the fuck is that? I hope you don't have a missus, because that would be fucking the worst relationship of all time if you're saying shit like that. This is a celebrated far left YouTube personality that all the feminists and all the male feminists love, and he's saying shit like that? That's that type of shit that makes you people fucking roll over in your graves. Rowling then responded to a fucking YouTuber for some reason. Like, not even a big YouTuber, like it's not like it was me. What you and your ilk failed to appreciate is how tediously familiar I find your tactics. I had a violent ex-husband who used to tell me life would be great if only I'd comply. But you're making the same mistake he did. Women like me can't be bullied out of resistance. Good fucking on her, all right? And I know the women and the men stuff, she's just a person that can't be bullied, right? Like, that's great. She's standing up for her beliefs and she's showing exactly what she was talking about before. She has a fucking backbone. Good fucking on you, love. I know people say, oh, you've got balls if you do that type of stuff. What's the female equivalent? You got big. Geez, you got some labias. Now, I don't necessarily have to agree with everything that Rowling says. I may not. And the reason I'm saying I may not is because I don't know what the fuck she said, all right? I don't know all of it. I know some of it and I agree with some of it. But with this type of stuff, and what the argument sort of started about was she doesn't want trans women in jail with biological women. Why? Because they're biologically men and that's dangerous to the women in there. And Voosh's sort of argument is, well, hey, we don't want trans women in jail with men because it's dangerous for them. So on one hand, Rowling's saying it's dangerous for the women, and on the other hand, Voosh is saying it's dangerous for the trans people, and guess what? They're both right. So this conversation has merit on both sides, and I think it's important to notice that. But of course, on Twitter, when everyone is just sort of trying to escape from their mundane lives, everyone just freaks the fuck out. There's no time for nuance, and everyone fucking just jizzes in their pants anytime there's a fight. Which leads to headlines like this, and I found this a little bit full on. J.K. Rowling slams suspected influencer Voosh for telling her to shut the fuck up. Vooshy, you poor thing. Jesus Christ. I almost feel bad for this big old horse cock lover. Some of his statements have been taken out of context in this article as well. And I think we need to remember that. But also there's some statements that haven't been taken out of context, and that's probably what they're referring to. Voosh suggested Rowling shut up, proposed women be quieter and start apologising channel in response to Rowling standing up for women's right to be safe from biological males in prisons and shelters. Rowling has been vocal in his opposition of a Scottish gender reform bill, a bill she says will harm the most vulnerable women in society, those seeking help after male violence and rape, and incarcerated women. As for Voosh himself, I'm not a pedophile, I'm a traditionalist. I just want a woman who's naive, innocent, utterly dependent on me, and sexually inexperienced. Also, she should be young. My ravenous desire for daughter-wife has nothing to do with pedophilia. What the fuck? What?
Please, right now, uncuck your dumb shit libcuck fucking SJW brains and recognize this empirically correct fact that I am about to spit. It is possible for an adult and a child to have a sexual relationship.
The only way I can end this video is by saying this. I like Harry Potter. Hey Voosh, fuck you to the moon. That's the end of the video, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you enjoyed it. Please leave a like, and if you haven't subscribed, what the fuck are you doing, mate? Come and see me live as well. I'm all over the country. So, be a good motherfucker. Peace in the Middle East. Me dick stinks. Toodaloo, au revoir. Bye. Bye.
Ladies and gentlemen, thanks for watching the video. Your support means absolutely everything. If you haven't subscribed, do it right now. You keep me dogs fed, and I love you. Now, ladies and gentlemen, if you didn't know, there's 3 new videos on this channel every week, and if you want more, you can head over to Little Butts Mom, which is the 2nd channel. Ladies and gentlemen, there is more. What about the podcast each and every week? It's available on Spotify and YouTube as well, and I'm also on tour right now around the country doing my show, Cancel Me Now. Stand-up comedy is back, ladies and gentlemen, and please, for Christ's sake, follow me on Instagram. I'm very lonely. Love ya. Bye.